Hi, welcome to Wealthy Mindset. My name is Oliver. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Hope you're having a great day. In today's video, I'm going to talk about Fisker Stock, an EV company, starting from April 22nd trading day, covering the next week, 2 weeks-ish kind of thing. I'm going to analyze the graph to give you the lows and highs, essentially price target predictions. Quick disclaimer before I begin though, I'm not a financial advisor, I'm not a professional, and everything I do share with you is just my opinion. It is not advice. So please do your own due diligence and research before buying and selling. Okay, so now looking at the graph, it's okay. So in case you're new to the channel though, downward trend resistance line dating back since March 2nd, 2021 and kept us down a bunch of times. So just in case if you're new, basically back tested, got knocked down, back tested here, got knocked down, back tested here, got knocked down, and then went up here and would have been even crazier. But the problem is the markets were like on a down day, so just dropped too with the markets, but still closed the day on green. Now it formed an upward trend support level right here. If I zoomed into like, this is the 1 month chart by the way, if I zoomed into like 1 day chart, it's a lot cleaner. But either way, went to the upside, back tested it, the downward trend resistance again, but not back tested it, but like tested it again and passed it. And then not only did it pass it, doesn't look clean right now fully, but basically bounced off it as support, went to the upside, past the moving average, past this moving average. Just phenomenal stuff. Now the reason why this is significant, and if you've been watching my channel, you know that passing downward trend resistance lines, especially if they're quite long, like if it's a day old downward trend resistance line, the run up is only relative to the day. But if it's like, for example, like months downward trend resistance line, then it's relative to the months, right? So I'm anticipating at least some. Is it guaranteed? It's not guaranteed, by the way. So definitely, again, just my opinion, not advice. Form your own opinion, do your due diligence and research. But I think the run up potentially could happen for roughly about 2 weeks. How high? I unfortunately didn't do a deep dive, but I'm anticipating if it were to go high, it would pretty much get like around $18.14 for the most part. It might be a little bit too optimistic, might not be too optimistic, but I think relatively speaking, I think it's fair to say sorry about that, I might have said $18.14, but when I measured it was like $18.19, give or take around that range, not exactly plus or minus 10 cents. Now, before we get to that, like always, I'm going to cover the upside, the downside, because nobody knows for sure. For all we know, some horrible news could come out, stock could tank, for some awesome news could come out, and this like stock could skyrocket like no tomorrow. So, and I'm going to cover consolidation potentially. Now, we passed this moving average. We could come back down to it. So essentially, I'm going to cover the support levels first, and then I'm going to go to like the downside first, and then I'm going to cover the upside. We could come back down to this moving like upward trend support level. Actually, one more thing. I know I'm jumping all over the place. Another reason why I think we're going to be continuing to the upside. This is the 1 month chart. This is the MACD line. MACD line is in the positive, which means it's in a bearish movement, or bullish movement, which is optimistic. So that means technically right now the stock's moving, or not technically, but the stock is moving in an optimistic viewpoint, and I don't see it curving down. If it was curving down to go to the negative, then I would say, well, we're probably anticipating somewhat of a dip a little bit, but right now it looks great. Can it go down? Yes, it still could go down, but again, nothing's guaranteed. So if it were to go down, we could hopefully rely on this moving average right now, and then pretty much around the $14.50, give or take, around that range, we could bounce up off the moving average as support and go to the upside. And then if we don't do that, we could come back down to this upward trend support level and bounce off to the upside around the $13.80, give or take, depending on when we hit it though. Because if we hit it sooner, we could hit essentially $13.50 range, give or take, which would coincide with this moving average right here. Like if you could see this moving average right here, and then also coincide with this horizontal support level around the $3.50 range. But I don't think I think hypothetically, if you're optimistic, the lowest we could see is $14.50 range, give or take. But if you're not optimistic, I think realistically, if you're thinking to the downside, then $13.80, so somewhere around $13.80 would be hypothetically worst case. But again, nobody knows for sure, so take everything with a grain of salt. But that's if we bounce off, and if we bounce off a little bit later, $14. So I think it's relatively safe to say that hypothetically, I personally want to say, but it's just my opinion, that we bottomed and we're going to the upside now. That's what I'm saying. But again, this is just my opinion, not advice. Do your own due diligence, form your own opinions. Now, if we go to the upside, so those are like hypothetically the downside. I don't see any more. If you think it's going to start tanking even more, then we would start relying on the high $12 support level. Well, obviously the $13 support level, but then the high $12, then the low $12 as well. So $12.90 to $12.83, like I mentioned before, and then $12.13 as a low, even though I don't even think we saw that anyway. I think we saw $12.30, but I digress. If we go to the upside, this is where we're going to start seeing issues. Now, these numbers are rough. I apologize. I'm trying to pump out a lot of videos today, so I don't have too much time to do a full deep dive. But before I get to that too, I know I'm bouncing all over the place. Another reason why I think 1440 might cause a good amount of support, not only does it correlate with the moving average right here, but there's horizontal support that you could see pretty much consolidated for quite a while at $14.50, give or take, around here. So if you look at the dashed line, and like you see like where it just drops, goes up, drops, goes up, pretty much bounces off pretty much the mid $14 price point, so $14.50, $14.60. So I'm hoping that that would support us, but again, nothing's guaranteed. And if you think you could consolidate on the high side, let's just say on the high side, then you're looking to consolidate between mid $14 price point and essentially I'll go a little bit higher, $17.70. But I think this is fair to say to consolidate between mid 14 to $17.30. Wow. Okay. So there's that. I didn't double check the high consolidation. I was anticipating to say that if we consolidate at the level we're at, basically 1550 to maybe not necessarily 1350, but 1450. So 1550, 1415. Again, these are relatively rough, but these are a little bit more exact, but these are still rough. I'll have a more detailed video soon. So now if we go to the upside, we're gonna have issues passing $15.55 because it's horizontal resistance level. Then we're gonna have issues passing $15.83 as a horizontal resistance level as well. Then $16, and let me see, where's this? Okay, yeah. So then after that, between $16.20 to $16.30, and then at the $16.40, $16.50 range, which coincides with this moving average right here, which is pretty much at $16.49, 52 cents, give or take. Depends on when we meet it. And in case if you're new to the channel, essentially when you're below the moving averages, they could act as resistance and just get knocked down. If you're above them, they could act as support and go to the upside in case if it goes like that. But you don't need to though. Like for example, you can see right here, this moving average, we did not pass it, or we did not even react to it as resistance. We could have got knocked down, went to the downside. Instead, we just went through it like nothing. But then you could see right here, we got knocked down as resistance right here. So moving average came in, we went up to the upside, got knocked down by it, and then we bounced off the downward trend resistance line as support and went up to the upside and then passed it, so as a second pass. So there's that. Now, I'm pretty optimistic for the next 2 weeks it's going to go to the upside. Again, no guarantees. The reason why is, from what I've looked at, every single time we had a downward trend resistance line, this one was roughly about, I think it was, yeah, almost a month, and the run up was for almost like 2 weeks or a month run up. Yeah. So, and then again here was, where was it? Right here. I think it was a 2 week drop, and then it was like a 2 week run up as well, or 2, 3, 4 week run up. So it ranges between, I think 2 weeks is fair to say that we could have a run up, but we could, by the way, instead of just having a 2 week run up, we could easily just consolidate for quite a while, right about the same range we're at. Not that drastic though. I don't think we'll drop lower than 1350. Most likely 1450 to be honest, but if you're not optimistic, 1350 is fair game, I guess. Only reason why is we were heading down here and then we consolidated for 3 months. So just keep that in mind. But take everything with a grain of salt. Nobody knows for sure. And that's basically it for the video. Thanks again for watching. Appreciate it. I hope you liked it. Hopefully you found it helpful. If you did like the video, consider dropping a like. It does help with the channel. If you have any questions, do not hesitate to ask. I'll try to answer them as soon as possible. And if you like videos like this or other stock videos or other financial videos, consider subscribing so you'll be notified when I do upload those videos. And that's basically it. Thanks again for watching. Appreciate it. And I'll see you in the next video. Peace.